So line number 4 is that the best people are well-rounded. We ask American parents this question: your child comes home with the following grades: English A, Social Studies A, Biology C, and Algebra F. And then the question is really simple. The question says, which grade deserves the most attention from you? There isn't a single time when we've done that study, and we've done it a lot, where less than 70% of parents go with the F. We all go with the F. We go A's, those are fine. Now, we need to focus on the F. Why? Because the well-rounded child is better. And this doesn't get left behind in school. It continues on in the world of work. Every single performance appraisal basically has the same contours to it. You have 5 minutes on what you did well last year, and then 55 minutes on your areas of opportunity, or your areas for development, or your areas for improvement, or whatever we call them. You go, this is going well, whatever, but we need to focus and fix this. Why do we do that? Because we think the well-rounded employee is better. The basic underpinning for all of what we do to help people learn and grow and get better is predicated on the idea that the best person is well-rounded. It's because we have a theory of excellence that is wrong. The theory of excellence that we have is that excellence in anything can be defined in advance, independent of the person being excellent. So if we want to define free throw shooting in basketball, we would be able to. We'd go, this is how you stand with your legs, and this is how you hold the ball, and this is how you extend your arm, and this is how you breathe before. Like, we think we can define it as a series of behaviors, actions. And then once we've got this definition of excellence, we'll hold you up against it and go, ooh, you're fine over here, but huge gaps over here. We need to plug the gaps so that we can get you closer to this definition of excellence. Now, but in the world of work, we encounter it in the form of competency models. And competency models basically take the position that if you look at excellence in a job, you can define it in terms of a list of competencies. Whether it's a sales job, whether it's a supervisor job, whether it's a leader job, they are things like business acumen or strategic thinking or goal orientation. We list these out, and these then become our defined understanding of what excellence is. We then turn our attention to you, the human, and we measure you against this defined standard. And then where you are doing well, we don't pay much attention. Where you are not doing well, we say that's a gap. And then we tie it to our learning management system so you can plug the gap. And all of it is pushing towards, vectoring towards making you this well-rounded person who possesses all of these competencies. That's how we do people in the world of work, because that's what our theory of excellence is. It's definable in advance, independent of a person. And yet, if you look at excellence in the real world, you don't find a list of competencies. Let's take two people in the real world that have the same basic occupation, the same basic orientation, the same basic age, the same race. Just look at them and we can see just how different they are, even though so much of their life is the same. Warren Buffett and Richard Branson, both entrepreneurs, white men of a certain age. And yet, if you just think about them for a minute, the first thing that strikes you is just how incredibly different they are. And there's no way that you would ever say that in order to grow, Richard, we've got this defined definition of excellence. We're going to measure you against it. You'll probably have some of the things that are fine, and then other things, maybe some of the stuff that Warren has, we're going to encourage you to go and acquire. We would never say that. Go drink more cherry Coke and go live in Omaha, Nebraska, and maybe you can become that most perfect of all things, the well-rounded executive. I mean, you wouldn't say that because it just sounds silly. When you look in the real world, you don't see a well-rounded list of competencies. Excellence doesn't look homogeneous in the real world. And so if we move forward through the world, imagine that to help people excel, we should figure out how to make them more well-roundedly like our models. We're going to run into doing a whole load of useless and absurd things. That's where we are right now.